Shit. Sorry, I'm finding the video that I need to show. Alright, they better have sent the notifications for this one. I want to see comments here soon because right now, I'm pretty pissed that they don't work right now. Like, honestly, they're also really hit and miss with their shorts, too. It's really stupid, honestly. I got angry over that, too, for some reason. Yeah, I'm actually, like, tired right now, but I'm gonna try to do this for, like, an hour. Oh, the notification finally worked. Well, that's a pleasant surprise. Because they never work. Like honestly, they need to fix their notification system. It's stupid. It honestly is super annoying. Yeah, I don't like it when the notifications don't work. I didn't get a notification for like anyone's stream today. It's been doing that. Couldn't tell you why though. Because I don't know why. Because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much snow you got, but you did say you got the snow over there. Said you've been getting slammed these last few days. Well, I'm over here just, I don't know. I'm just very sad right now because we're not getting any snow here. Yeah, they can't fix the easy shit, honestly. Like, seriously, they need to fix their shorts algorithm. It's awful. Like, honestly, I notice it, and I bet you a lot of other people notice it. They only promote it on certain days. They'll only promote my content on, like, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursday nights, and Fridays. That's all the days I ever promote my shorts on. They only do it on certain days. Don't ask me why. They don't ever do it on the weekend, and it's super annoying to try to get a video up to 1,000 views. And even no matter how much I try, it doesn't ever work. And these last few days have just been rough for this channel. Ever since Thursday. They never do it on Fridays. They never do it any other day. It's super obnoxious. I don't know if anyone else will notice that, but they're doing jack shit about it. And no one's talking about that too. It's super obnoxious. Like honestly, I could upload a short right now, do absolutely nothing with it, and come back an hour later. If this was like on Monday, of course, it would get like 30,000 views or something like that. But if it was right now, it would get like 40 views. And those are all from my subscribers. So I'm gonna. Did I? Yes. Sorry, I'm having major issues here because my internet here is absolutely awful. Having the absolute worst internet out here. Just posting the invite link because I forgot to. Damn it. Paste chat. So welcome into the chat, Old Man King Homestead. What's up? What's going on? I heard you got like the snow. Well, I'm chilling out here. We got nothing. It didn't even transition over to snow here. We just got about 2 inches of rain. That was maximum. That was all we needed, honestly. I honestly wish that snow didn't melt. Alright, you're cooking chili and cornbread. Alright. It's just been weird. Like they're saying, like the other day they were saying next week we were supposed to get the biggest blockbuster snowstorm, and we're supposed to get like freaking 20 inches of snow next week, and now they're just saying average snow, like 1.9 inches, I believe is what it said last time I checked. The other day they were saying 7.1 and 7.6, and now it's just saying an inch of rain and 1.9 inches of snow. I honestly hope they revert that as soon as possible, because I want snow. Honestly, I just want to miss 2 days. Got about 3 inches of snow. Yeah, that's more than I got. I mean, if it's mostly rain, it's probably gonna melt on impact, unless like the snow happens like the end. Never gotten lucky with those storms. We're always in that area. Every time it always snows at the start of the storm, and then just past there, just rains. Like, just rains for the rest of the snow, the rest of the storm. So I'm having some cookies, and yeah, they just get, like, we just get pounded with rain in a wintry mix with like rain, snow, sleet. And if we're not getting any snow, and if this storm isn't gonna bring us snow or rain, it's gonna bring us freezing rain. Everyone's favorite type of rain. We get them every year here. We get them a lot of times each year, but we always get one big storm each year, and it's awful. Like, honestly, you don't want to be experiencing those types of freezing rain conditions. Like, there's car accidents. There's cars getting hit by plows because they're driving down the highway at 65 miles per hour, and then you slam into those things. So yeah, we get those freezing rainstorms every year. And unfortunately, they don't stop. So yeah, if anyone wants to hop up onto the live panel to talk about their channel, or like any of the moderators in the chat can just go there and like find the new channel and like drop a link, that'd be really helpful. Let's see. Now on Monday, they're predicting 3 to 4 feet for some areas. Looks like we'll get a foot or less. Well, hey, a foot of snow, still a foot of snow. I wouldn't be complaining about a foot of snow. But 3 feet, that's way too much. Man, I don't know if you saw my video about my embarrassing snow shovel fails. But I was talking about 2011. We got a massive blizzard over here. We got, I think it was 34 or 35 inches, maybe 36. I did exaggerate saying 42. It was probably more like 36 or 37 inches. It was still a lot. It was just, I just dropped my phone. It was a lot of snow. It was about 3 feet. And during that storm, there was so much snow that me being the idiot 4-year-old I was at the time just dug through that. Honestly, I can't do basic math, so I don't even remember when that was. So, I don't even remember what day that happened on. I don't remember how old I was when that happened. So, yeah, that was just whatever it was like 11 years ago, maybe 12 at this point. It was in, I believe, January 2011. So I think it was like 3 at the time, 3 or 4. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. And not only was it a long time ago, but also that year we kept on getting these 3-foot blizzards. And then in 2000, and then the 2011 to 2012 winter was the weirdest thing ever. Like, we got, I want to say 8 or 9 inches of snow in the middle of September. Then we got another 8 or 9 inches of snow. And Halloween, the first 8 or 9 inches of snow was a record low, and it was powdery snow, so it didn't really cause a big deal. I think it was like 4 or 5 inches now, like 8 or 9. The second storm was like 10 or 11 inches of snow, and that was big issues because that was all wet and heavy snow here. So we lost power for a week, plus the amount of time it takes to restore personal utilities, so it was a long loss of power. So, past that point, there was a day in January where we got up to 92 degrees. There was a day in March where we got up to 96. And then there was a day in April where we got up to 101. And then May that year, we were up in 100s, 105, 106 degrees. And that year was the weirdest. Honestly, I think there's always going to be that one winter. It's going to be sub-zero for you. The coldest it's going to get here is 4 degrees. That's it. Not going to be sub-zero for me. But it is going to be cold. But the highs are all going to be like 30s and 40s and maybe even some 50s. So not even going to be a big deal. Just highs in the 50s, lows in the 20s or upper teens. And with this storm, 10 degrees for a high, that's way too cold for me. Honestly, this early in the year, I feel like this year's just been so cold so early. And like, I remember complaining earlier about not getting enough snow and it being way too hot here. Man, I remember we got up to 88 degrees back in November, and then the rest of the month I was just complaining about my channel. I was complaining on my channel about it being like 100 degrees for her being like negative 100 degrees, so negative 100 degrees. Welcome into the Chat GT Junior girls. It was like I believe the coldest it got last month. Before this year, I believe it was 11 degrees, and now it's like I believe it's 3 or 4. It was awfully cold. And I'm gonna say this once: you don't want to go outside in 3-degree weather, because at 3 degrees, you can easily get frostbite. I've never experienced it, but I've came very, very close to it. What's up, GT Junior? Sorry, I don't know if I highlighted the chat message or not. I honestly couldn't tell. But yeah, we just gotten so much cold air in our area. We live on a mountain, so it's pretty typical. They always tell me heat rises, but then I give you a mountain, and on the ground it could be like 60 degrees, but up on the mountain it'll be like 45. But then for some reason in the summer, it's just so hot up here on the mountains. Like this summer, we had highs just about close to 110 degrees. I think it was like 108 one day. There was one day in May where it got up to almost 100 degrees. It was a very rough summer. I don't know about any of you guys, but it got up to close to 105, 106 degrees this summer. -4 degrees? That is awful. Stay inside. Don't want to get frostbite. But it's like almost every day. I always go on my weather map. Now, I always check the advisories and watches and warnings in the US. And Alaska is almost always in some form of winter alert, like winter weather advisory or winter storm warning for 8 to 12 inches of snow expected this weekend. Well, I'm over here when they issue. And then over here, they issue us a winter storm warning for 2 to 4 inches of snow. I remember we would get so much snow over here. And this was even recently. This was 2019. We were supposed to get, like, I believe it was 6 to 12 inches of snow in December, late November that year. They didn't even issue us a winter storm warning. They just gave us a winter weather advisory and told us to deal with it. But then they gave us a winter storm warning later the next year for up to 4 inches of snow. It's a weird system. Our hottest day was crap. Our hottest day was 94. We didn't really have a hot summer this year. A lot of days were only in the 70s. Oh, I wish it was in the 70s every day, honestly. But honestly, winter comes and winter goes. And there was this year, 2020, when winter came in very strong in December, and then it was so just bland for the rest of winter. I remember one night in February they were saying we're supposed to get 6 to 12 inches of snow. Take a wild guess of how much we actually got. We woke up to just green grass, nothing that was there. It was pouring rain the next morning, and according to locals, didn't ever even start snowing. So we get those storms all the time up here. 6 to 12 inches of snow expected now. It's just gonna be nothing. Or there's gonna be times where they're saying, "Oh, we're just gonna get a little bit of flurries," and you wake up the next day, there's 18 inches of snow on the ground. It's also gonna be a big issue. Welcome to New England. Back in April 2020, as I was saying, the winter 19 to 20 was weird. Came in strong in December. January, we had one winter storm in January. And I remember them saying it was going to be the biggest winter storm of them all. It was like 3 or 4 inches, and it all melted the next day, of course, because it's New England. Everything melts the next day. And then nothing happened from February to March, and then COVID happened, and then all of a sudden it just started snowing again. Like, seriously, we got 5 inches of snow in May. And in May, it's usually like 70 degrees here, and not snowing 5 inches. So, yeah, never trust the weather forecast, because if they're saying 6 to 12 inches, you're either going to get that, nothing, or 15 inches of snow. It's always what happens in New England. You wake up one day and there's just a new random snowstorm for the next day saying we're going to get 2 to 4 inches, and you wake up and there's either nothing or there's like 9 inches of snow. Yeah. The blizzard of 2011 was a prime example of that. There was a blizzard in the forecast, but they're only saying 9 to 12 inches of snow. And yeah, we were all excited. We're just gonna have a very minuscule snow event that'll maybe like be enough to make snowman. And then we wake up the next day, there's 34, 35 inches of snow. So yeah, weather forecasts can never be trusted because they're gonna be like 3 to 6 inches of snow, and then wake up and there's 36 inches of snow. The exact opposite of that. So yeah, weather forecasting in New England is very hard. So honestly, I feel like meteorologists should be the highest paid if you're forecasting places for New England. Because, man, in the south, it's either raining or it's not. In the north, it's either snowing or it's not. Here, it's doing whatever it wants to do. So yes, whatever it wants to do is whatever it wants to do. So Hatfield County, the older I get, the more I hate winter. It's supposed to get down to single digits at the end of next week with a chance of snow. Yeah, we're supposed to get snow. Minnesota used to be mild temperature. Whatever the month was an easy rule. April 40 degrees, May 50, June 60. And now it's 100 degrees in April and 30 May. Weather's crazy now, yeah. It's super random. It's very hit or miss. You can have these blizzards that roll through. This is Winter Storm Keenan example here. I'm gonna bring this back onto the channel. I don't know if you guys were around when I did that video. It was late January of this year. So we had winter storm on the forecast. There were two different models. There's the American model, and then there's the Euro model. And the Euro model was the one that was calling for 36 inches of snow here. The American model is calling for like 8 to 12 inches of snow. And I remember it was a Monday I saw that. That was the day they were calling for the Euro model. And then I wake up Wednesday through Thursday, they were all saying the American model. And then all of a sudden, randomly at overnight, they just changed one night they changed to the Euro model, and all of a sudden, yeah, everything went to crap. And the storm was weird. Some towns got absolutely dumped on with snow, others got nothing. Our town got like 11 or 12 inches. Town over got like 26 inches. The town over from that got like 3, 4 inches. And then from there, it just keeps on going. Just have a repeating thing. So yeah, New England weather can't be ever trusted. In the winter, it's either a blizzard or it's not. In the summer, it's either a thunderstorm or it's not. And those thunderstorms in the summer are the most unpredictable things. But hey, up here in New England, we at least get snow days. And snow days are the best, sort of, I guess. Like, I love them and all. But the one thing I don't like about them is the fact that they have to take time off my spring break, which is like April 10th or so. This year it's going to start on Good Friday and it's going to end like the week after. But if this winter's chaotic, like we're getting snow all the way up till then what we're going to get is like it's just going to take time off of my break. So I wouldn't even go into school if that was the case. The only thing I like to do after a snow is go predator hunting. Otherwise, I stay inside where it's warm. Honestly, when it's snowing, if it's doing that during the day, I would just sip on a thing of hot chocolate while just watching some YouTube videos. That's all I do. And if it's not snowing out and it's raining, I always grab myself a cup of iced tea and nothing else. Just grab myself a nice old cup of iced tea and just watch videos. Maybe snack too, because well, you can't go wrong with that. Honestly, my envision of a perfect winter is one snow day before, and then the rest after April break. So nothing past there. So nothing in between. All the snowstorms happen on the weekend, and then from there, just proceed to just absolutely like destroy us with snow from like April 20th to like June 20th. There's nothing they can do about that. Welcome into the chat, Farmer V and Recyclable Homestead. There's absolutely nothing they'd be able to take off except for our summer break. Which honestly, if you're like last year was an absolute crap show. Last year they were saying we're gonna end on the 20th of June, which if you're wondering, was a Monday. And more than half of my class wasn't even there, so yeah. If I was rich, I'd stay inside my huge door. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. And heated salt pool water, honestly. Honestly, I would love to have a hot tub, but we already have a pool, and I'm waiting to use that thing in the spring. If my wish, what I just said, actually happens, like nothing happens on the weekdays, and all the snowstorms are on the weekends, and then all of a sudden we just get 12 inches of snow on May 20th, well, I'm not gonna be able to use that thing until like July or August. So honestly, I would like a hot tub, but unfortunately, we already have a pool, and there's no other good spots. And when you live in a place like this, everything is on a hill or everything has rocks in it. So yeah, always be careful when you're trying to do things out here. Or else you're either gonna get like absolutely ratioed by the slope, because like the slope here is like 5/3 on some spots here. Like seriously, the slope is like 5/3 X in some areas. There's no way I said 5/3 X. It's 5/3. So you go up 5 and over 3, and that's literally the amount of steepness that some of the hills here are. And then you have rocks. So the amount of times I've absolutely destroyed myself on rocks are incountable. I once actually fell while me being an idiot trying to climb up a tree. I fell like 7, 8 feet off of that thing. And because I was an idiot, I just so happened to be climbing one right next to a rock. So not only did I fall off, there was also snow on the ground, but that thing was just peeking out of there. So not only did I fall all the way down to like 9 inches of snow, but I also, instead of hitting the snow and having a very peaceful impact that would just shake me up and be like, whoa, what the hell just happened? I instead fell to the ground and hit my back on a rock. Yeah, I know some of my viewers have like back pain issues. That's like the most common thing while getting older, and I am already starting to have some of them. So yeah, if like that happens, it's gonna be a big deal for a lot of you guys. So don't climb up 7-foot trees with a rock next to them, or else you're just gonna. And that was a big gust of wind that knocked me down too. That was like 80 miles per hour. Also, make sure it's not windy because it's just gonna blow you off of the thing. Because I find it hard to move around, and well, I'm really not keeping up with the chat. Yeah, I find it sometimes really hard to move around in the wind. Like I could just be out there in 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and like me being able to move is a non-existent thing because no one can move in those types of conditions. Like trying to move is legitimately impossible when you have winds gusting that high. So if you're gonna be out there in those really strong conditions, always come prepared with a plan, because because I love going out during storms and filming videos out there. The one thing I'd say is that I do this all the time. I always get a raincoat on to protect my skin. Then I get like gloves on, because if you don't know, a strong enough wind gust can damage your skin. And I've had it happen to me before, so don't do it. And that is very low. It's like 80 miles per hour. That can do enough damage. So always make sure to protect your skin when you're out like in a storm with those strong winds. Or else you're gonna experience the actual force of the wind. And yeah, if anyone wants to hop up on the live panel, just saying this again, just tossing this out. So if you guys want like a shout out or help grow on your channel, because I know it's very hard to grow on YouTube nowadays. I mean, I was so desperate for views like a month ago. I started a trend that was completely unrelated to this channel, and it somehow did good. So that's basically how I got from like 900 to 1,367 or something like that. That's what I believe I'm at. So if you want to come up on a live panel, that's cool. But you don't have to, because you could just use the chat and then moderators might drop your link. The one issue I'll have sometimes with growing on YouTube is the fact that they only promote your content on certain days, and that's a big example of it. That's a big thing with this channel. They only promote my content on certain days. Like this is one of the off days. They always upload like 30 different videos on Saturdays, Sundays, and they only promote it on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursday nights, and sometimes Friday. Pretty much it. Very rarely will I have a video blow up on Saturday, Sunday, or Wednesday. And most of the time Friday. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know if you ever have the same issue. with YouTube Shorts. He only promote it on certain days, and other days they're gonna do absolutely nothing with them because they're just like that. Yeah. Just gotta guess. Just have to open this up. Taking way too long. Ah, that's not the button I wanted to. Sorry for the wait. Add to stream. Yes, I want to add it to stream. Please tell me that worked. Alright, good.
What's up with you, chicken? Hello?
Hi.
You there?
What's going on? Did it
Not
snow for
much.
you?
Huh?
Has it snowed for you yet? Because like I know you're up in Alaska and they get a lot of snow up there.
We got 11 inches. Monday, and then we got like about seven to about 14, something like that. I don't remember. On Wednesday. Yeah, it was bad, man. Yeah, now we need snow because it's cold. It's cold
Yeah.
outside.
At a certain point, it doesn't really snow anymore, and that point is like 5 degrees. And past 5 degrees, usually you don't really see that much snow because, like, I remember there was one storm one year. I think this is 2013, I believe. We're having a big storm, and in the middle of the snow, it's like 30 degrees, and it was supposed to drop down to like -4 here because it does get that cold here. Because I've had temperatures around -22 here, and that was just last winter too. So
Woo!
I don't know how cold you get in the winter, but we can get temperatures as low as -25. But then during that storm, as soon as it dropped below 5, the snow just stopped, and they were still forecasting like 3 to 6 more inches at that hour, but like it just stopped at like 5 degrees. Didn't do anything past there.
Wow, I didn't know y'all get that cold. I didn't know y'all get a -22. Whoa.
Yes, our state has gone down to -36 before.
Mm.
So
Well,
yeah,
we
it
get
can get
yeah.
that cold, but it's not as common. But it does always in the winter get very cold here. We get just so much snow. We get so much snow too. It's very weird here. And then it's very hit or miss with what year actually we're gonna get snow in. Not really like that, but like sometimes some years we get like little snow, like 2020, and then all of a sudden at the end of the season we just get blasted with snow. Happened in 2020. We got 6 inches of snow on like May 15th or something like that.
Mm.
I remember waking up that day. Usually in May it's like 75 degrees here, but I woke up that day. They were saying we're gonna get up to an inch. I woke up, there's just about 5 inches, and it snowed another inch that day before it all melted. And that was the coldest day in May. It got down to about 9 degrees that night.
Wow.
Well, usually here it's like 72 with a low like 56 or something like that, but no, it was like, no, we had a low of 8 degrees in May. It's colder than some people very far up north get.
Farmer V said, he said, thinking about it got us cold. I can dig it. I can dig it. That's why I've never visited Fairbanks. Fairbanks gets really cold. I've never been there. I don't have desires to go there or travel there because Alaska is very, very big, and the further north you go up, it gets -50 and more. Like it gets really cold up there. Yeah.
In some places, it gets so cold that like rivers freeze. Here we just get like very minimal ice on some rivers. And like forming off of like logs on rivers, even if it gets down into the negatives. Like up north, like really far up north, like very northern Alaska and Russia and areas like that, they get like so cold sometimes that rivers freeze up, and the ice is so thick that like trucks and cars can ride on that thing. And they ride on those too. Like there's literally like videos of like cars literally riding on rivers because it just got that cold.
Yeah, our rivers are froze. Yeah, it's real. We didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Negative.
Yeah.
New England is beautiful in the fall, but I can't handle those winters. I'm in Kentucky. And I'm already thinking about moving south when I retire. Yeah. New England is very weird when it comes to winters. It's very variable if the winter's good or not. I live in Texas, but my father used to work in Fairbanks during the summer when I was a child. Yeah, Fairbanks, I remember a couple years ago. I've been to Alaska before, actually. I went to Fairbanks in 2019, and it was like 90 something degrees there. I came to Fairbanks to see like 60, 70 degrees, not to see 100. Like, it can get that hot in Alaska sometimes. 2019 was a bad year for that.
Yeah, and Fairbanks has that climate like that where it does get warmer here. I mean, it gets warmer there than it does here in Anchorage, and vice versa. As far as the cold, they get colder there. So
Yeah.
yeah, I can dig it. Yeah, but I think they have the Chena hot springs out there as well too. I'm not for certain for that, but of that. But yeah, yeah. But we got a lot of snow, man. Let me show you real quick.
Yeah. That is a lot of snow.
Yes.
Wow. Never gotten anything like that. Except like a
And
couple times.
that's a lot out there too, man.
Like, is that like around like 2 feet or like two and a half
Can y'all
feet of
still
snow?
hear me?
Yeah. I don't know how much that is, but it looks like it's like 30 inches, maybe 31 inches. But like up here, we very rarely get above 18 inches of snow just because when we have winter storms, because when
What
winter
you
storms
talking,
hit
man?
down here, not up there, it's like almost always just the cold side. But there's always going to be a cold side and a warm side. And then there's going to be a middle, which is the mild side. That's
Okay.
where you're going to have the mixing and the freezing rain. More almost always in the mild side. It's always going to start out with snow, and then it's going to transition to either something like rain or freezing rain. And we get massive freezing rain storms up here sometimes, just because we're almost always in the mild side. With this recent storm, though, we were in the warm side. So while places just like 3 miles north of us were getting like 6, 7 inches of snow, we were over here just getting rained on. But on, I want to say, yeah, it was Sunday into Monday, an area like 3 miles from where I was got like 2 inches of snow, an inch and a half maybe. Well, I was over here with 7 inches of snow. Here I got like 7 inches earlier this week. But that all melted so fast. I don't know what month it starts melting at. The snow starts melting at for you, but for me, that's like March.
Mm. Yeah, I
There's
think it's
always a
Go ahead.
yeah. There's almost always a time when like in the winter, like last winter especially, we get one snow, then most of it melts. Then we get another snow, most of that melts, and so on. And then eventually, it's just been so cold for so long, and the snow is just like dirty, and it's not even fun to play with anymore. It's like just dirt, snow. There's like an inch, nothing, and you just wait for that to melt, and it doesn't do anything for 3 weeks
Mm.
before it finally melts. Like 3 weeks later.
I can dig it, man. Yeah, our plan it doesn't get 50 at night until June 1st. That's our planning day. But in April it starts to melt. Pretty much, it's just cold outside. It's in the We get like 30 to 40 nights, and then it's like 50 to 60 in April, somewhere around up in there. And then May it starts. The snow is basically gone, but then we get that one day where it just boom, just a whole bunch of snow, and yeah.
Hmm.
And then my snow blower broke when we had all that snow. Oh my goodness, it was so bad. Oh man, but I got some cool neighbors, so they let me borrow their snow blower, and then we went to go look for one. They're all out in the town, so yeah.
Yeah.
We got to wait a little while to get that. Hopefully, we don't get a snow for another 2 weeks or something like that. I had to put one on reserve. Got to do something because it was too. I have a couple of snow shovels
Mhm.
fitting different purposes, but this one here, it was a lot. It was too much. There was no way. It took us 2 hours just to remove the snow with the snow blower from the neighbors because it was that much snow. It was a lot, man. And we got like a 40 by 20. Yeah, maybe a 40 by 10, something like that driveway. Yeah, so it was a lot, man. A
And
lot.
I'm the and for me, we have a huge driveway here. We have like a normal driveway that goes up like about like 8 feet wide, maybe, and like 25 feet long. But then it splits up with an artificial driveway made out of gravel, which we also have to shovel. It splits up two ways. So like the combined length of those two is about like I want to say close to 300, 400 feet. So we have to shovel all of that in the winter. And when we have snowstorms that bring us like 8, 9 inches of snow, it's very hard to shovel that because you have to get there and 8 or 9 inches of snow, you have to like dig down and then just like shovel from there. And just to get 1 square feet done in like 2 minutes is like a very impressive thing when you have like 8 or 9 inches of snow. Even if it's that very light snow, it's still very hard to move. I don't know what type of snow you have outside, but we either get like that very like early in the season, like October, November, sometimes in October, usually in November. It's a very wet snow. And then starting in like December 1st, it's all of a sudden like that. Like it's like that very I don't know how to describe it. It's like the snow that sticks to everything but doesn't weigh everything down. You make a
Mm.
snowball out of it and it just breaks midway through the air. And then there's
Mm.
that powdery snow that everyone likes because it doesn't cause issues.
Yeah, we get that heavy wet snow too. Yeah. Ooh. Mm. Yeah, it's and I don't have a scale, to show you exactly how much snow it is on top of those structures out there, but it's a lot.
Mhm.
And I had built the chicken run. I built the chicken run for my chickens outside, and it's got about 3 feet of snow on it. And I guess I did it pretty well. I'm not a builder at all, but I guess I did pretty good.
Yeah. Usually what I'll do is I'll take is like it's like if it's like a very like very powdery snow, but like it's still very few inches, like usually below 10 inches. What I'll do is I'll shovel or snow blow the main driveway. But like for the past 2 years, we've been trying to get our snowblower to work. We don't want to get a new one because living out in the middle of nowhere is very hard. We live on the top of a mountain, so it's almost impossible to find an actually good shop that actually sells snowblowers that's not like 50 miles from here. So we have to like so we've been trying to repair it for the last 2 years, so I always have to go out there and just shovel. What I'll do is I'll go into the barn when there's still snow there, and I'll grab a leaf blower and just like blow all that snow away. Usually I do it while the storm is running. Like I'll usually like set like an alarm for like 3, 4 in the morning and like get out there and just start like snow blowing that thing with like the leaf blower and then go back to bed and wake up at like 8, do it again, and maybe like go back to bed for like another hour and then do it again. It's something I do when you have little amounts of snow, but it's it's only effective when you have like snow less than 10 inches. Past
Mm.
there, it's better to snow blow. But like you
Yes.
can't really shovel a gravel driveway because if you shovel, you're gonna get gravel mixed in there, and you're not really gonna have a driveway.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean then we need to get into that barn because in that barn we have like electricity. That's where the electricity is, and then we have to like go out there. Sometimes we have to do work on the cars, and sometimes like that. So if we don't have a barn to get to, it's gonna be very hard to. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. I'll be back in like
All
two
right.
minutes,
Wash
alright?
your hands, man.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So how's everybody doing in the chat? I'm a new chicken owner. The chickens are in the house. Well, not in the house, but they're in the garage. I got to build a structure for it. because they're crammed up in there and they're mad. They're picking at each other. So I got to build a little structure for them. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. Tomorrow's my only day off. I work 6 days a week. I'm at work right now. I'm doing 15 hours. Um, I love what I do, so it's all good. But yeah, I'm getting 7 eggs a day though. If it was outside, I wouldn't be getting any. So it's pretty good. I'm able to supply my neighbors, a couple of family members. I'm able to give them some eggs, and they're happy. They do little things. One of my neighbors, he brought over some bread, and I don't eat from other folks' house, but um, I chose to take the bread, and the bread was nice. The bread was good. The bread was good. I'm doing good. My chickens aren't happy with the snow and cold. Old King, Old Man's King Homestead. Yeah, I can dig it. I can dig it. Yeah, they're inside, and I wanted to take them outside. That was the initial plan. But with me working so much, and then we just bought a house in April, and the house needed some work. Um, so I've been having to spend time doing that to, make sure my family's okay, and I'm a dad and a husband, so I've been having to take care of those duties before I took the chickens out. And then when I was actually getting out there and I was, I painted some stuff, put some stuff together or whatever. My wife said, "You can't put them chickens out there. They're gonna be get shocked from the environment. They've been in here since they was born. You can't do that." So I had to listen to my wife, and I chose a different route. So I'm gonna be building a little structure for them so that they can have more room, and but it's the chickens that actually helped me with my life because I'm a gardener as well. I garden in my house 24 all the time. My gardens is in my garage, and I have plants in there, and having the chickens in there has me to go into my garage 2 to 3 times a day. So I'm always looking over, checking my plants, and chickens are very dusty. I did not know that until I actually have them in my house, in my garage, raising them. Oh my goodness! But they're
Yeah,
happy.
yeah, the
Um,
chickens are very dusty. And like I look at your heat lamp and you might be gone for like 24, 48 hours and you come back up there and the heat lamp is coated in like
oh wow!
half an inch of dust. The walls have dust on them. And like that's not even joking. I'm not even joking. Like there's sometimes half an inch, maybe even 3/4 of an inch of dust on those things. And those things can ignite, so we have to commonly clean them off very carefully too, because those things can be 120, 130 degrees because they need to keep the chickens warm. And then when it comes to like keeping chickens incubated, it's always going to be like you drop it 5 degrees every week. So you start at 90, you go down to 85 on the first week, then it's 80, then 75 and 70. And then once it's the outside temperature, then you put them outside, you'll notice the dust just goes away. And that's like
Say
a
that
very
again. Say that again, chicken. About the dust and going away. I didn't quite. I guess my brain was processing as well as listening, so I didn't fully
yeah,
comprehend
the
that.
dust is very hard to clean off sometimes, so like yeah. So then, like, you drop the brooder temperature by 5 degrees every week, so it goes down. So you start at 90, you drop it by 5. So by the end of the first week, it's 85, then it's 80, and 75, 70, 65, 60. And then once it's finally to the temperature that it is outside, then you put them out, and you'll notice the dust just decreases as soon as you get rid of it. And once they're outside, I notice the dust, since we raise them in our upstairs. And our upstairs is very awfully disheveled except for one room. And that one room is where we raise them. That room has insulation, has everything it needs, except every other room is just like destroyed. So so we just put the chickens in that room and they're happily in there for like 8, 9 weeks. And then
Mm.
and there was so much dust in the room, I had to go up there every day. This is 2020. So then once they're finally done with the dust, I move them outside. Well, not really that like that. Like we move them outside and like we clean off the dust and That was the last time there was dust up there until we had to put new chickens up there. Instead of there being 9 chickens, there was like 40. So, yeah.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
You have a lot of chickens. I don't know how many you have.
8.
Yeah, we have 2 flocks, and I remember like 4 or 5 weeks ago, I was saying that the farm flock had like 14, 13 chickens. Don't remember exactly. Well, actually, we ended up moving out. I don't know if you remember, but like back in July and August, we hatched out 5 chickens. I don't know if you remember Shaving Cream, Rotisserie Chicken, Kit Kat, and Fluff Ball, but they're all fully grown now.
Wait a minute. Say those names again.
So we have 2 roosters in that. We have 1 hen mare, and the 2 roosters are named Shaving Cream and Rotisserie Chicken. I didn't name those. And then we have 2 Easter eggers named Kit Kat and Fluff Ball. I didn't name those either. I didn't name any of them. And there's just 1 unnamed chicken. Out of the 10, we had 5 that hatched out, so about half of them hatched. So once they were hatched out, we had like a chicken incubate them, and then we moved them out to the barn. And recently we moved them out to their new home out in the farm flock, and I added 5 chickens. And then recently we stopped over at my friend's house, and he lives in the suburbs, and he couldn't handle the chickens. So we stopped over at his house and we picked him up, and we drove him like 30 minutes back home. And then now we have, I believe, I think it went up to like, so we had like 18 chickens after that. Then it was 17. Now I believe it's 29. I think it was 11 or 12 new chickens we got. And I remember on that first night, I just went over there and there was like 5 chickens, 5 of those new chickens. We got like some Rhode Island Reds, some new Black Copper Marins, and other stuff. I believe there was like an Easter egger like one. Couldn't tell if it was exactly an Easter egger because he told me that it was like straight run, not like that, but like just they didn't tell him what breed they were. They were just from Tractor Supply, and then he just gave it to them already. They were all told apart. I'm not going to say the actual word for that because I don't want to get age restricted here on YouTube, so I'm not going to say the actual word to that. So they tell them apart, and then they give them, and they like separate them, and then they like give those chickens, and they give them those chickens, and they were straight like you don't know what breed they are. They didn't know what breed they were, so you basically have to guess what they are. It's a guessing game, but they did get their chickens, and we took them later because they couldn't handle them. And according to them, they've actually had multiple chickens previously, and a lot of them were killed by like raccoons and coyotes because the coons will come in and they'll start like killing chickens. They'll literally for sport they'll leave the body right there. Like the raccoons will come in, and a lot of other different critters too will just come in and they'll like rip the head off of the chicken, take that, and just leave it for sport. And you'll find it like a couple days later just randomly in the woods. Those chickens, they are ruthless like that. So you always gotta make sure that those are there. I was actually on another stream. I think it was Devil Dog earlier today, and one of the people on the stream was explaining that like they actually had to go out there. I believe it was like with a 22 or something like that. There was 3 raccoons, and they had to get rid of all of them because they were attacking their chickens. And raccoons will do that. They'll hunt them for sport, and they'll leave it there, and maybe take one, which you'll probably find like a day later randomly in the woods. So, and then before that, they had a rooster. Actually, in the suburbs, usually you can't own roosters, so they had it for like a week, and they got rid of it. But during that week, that rooster did some extremely moronic things. Like it got its head stuck in the like they have a deck, and like how decks have like those wood things. It's 12:48 right now where I'm at, so I can't tell you what exactly they are. Like wooden things, and they're like like I don't know if you've seen a deck before, but those things are there, and the rooster could just barely fit his head in there, so he got his head stuck in there. So they had to come and take it out. And that rooster, being an idiot, decided to walk right back into there and got stuck again. And he did that 5 more times before they just put him back in the chicken coop. Because sometimes, because I notice this a lot, hens have a lot more intelligence than roosters do, and that's like a fact.
Mm.
Yeah. Like chickens, when it comes to roosters, they can't really tell the difference between threat and non-threat. When it comes to hens, I can literally go out there with treats and tame a hen in like 3 minutes. I've done that before many times. It does. You should. If you want to tame a chicken, you should do it before they start egg laying, or like 2 to 3 weeks before that. And you'll notice, like they'll start like. You'll notice that like when you go and like pick them up, they'll just clutch down. So that's what they do when they're like, you know what, we're about to start egg laying, and that's a sign that they're about to start laying eggs. And during that, you can pick them up and hand feed them, and that's how you tame them. So now, whenever I go out there, like literally every time, you can literally hear the ground rumbling because of how loud they are. They just run at me. Every single one of them, including the ducks too.
Oh,
Ducks
you
was
got ducks too. Oh wow.
Yeah, we have 3. We actually had a fox come through a couple of weeks ago, try to take them. We it was a we have 1 rowan named the Quacken and two cayugas named Captain Blackwing and What the Duck. And What the Duck has been through a lot, and recently What the Duck was a victim of a fox attack. What the Duck was just laying there in the yard, almost dead. We came there at the right time. Our rowan was in the garden just quacking. I guess she fought back. And the other one was playing dead in the road. So we picked them all up. We all examined them. The one that was playing dead in the road was very, very, very slightly injured. She was fine though. She recovered very quickly. It's like, like sometimes you like fall down, you scrape your knees sometimes. It was like that type of injury, not a very serious one. The other one was like dealing with a potentially lethal injury. So we had to get her all fixed up, and she was in the hospital for like 2 weeks. And then it started to become less and less like it was a lethal injury and more like she wouldn't like raise her head up. And for a while we thought it was because of the fox attack, but we realized it was just because she wanted to see the other ducks. She brought her home, and as soon as they got there, she poked her head up and started eating the treats with the other ducks. So I think it was less and less looking like a lethal injury, and more just looking like that duck just wanted to see the other chickens. The other ducks. She's probably gonna be in there for like another month because she's not fully recovered. But that duck literally got a broken foot once. We treated that all, and then 2 weeks later she got bumblefoot. But she recovered from that. And yet somehow my chicken Sprinkles didn't ever recover from bumblefoot. She actually ended up having to be put down. Don't know if you remember that, but like I don't know if you even heard this story, but like back in May we had a chicken named Sprinkles come down with bumblefoot. She was very sick for like 2 months, and then on May 29th, we had to put her down because she was very, very, and it was at that point just a terminal illness. So at that point, it was a very lethal disease, so we ended up having to put her down. But other than that, the chicken did live a good life, which I'm proud of that, but I don't know where she got it from. It was either from my rooster trying to jump on her, or her flying off the roost bar and like hitting her foot on something on the ground. I don't know if you've had to deal with that before, like bumblefoot or other disease.
Nope. My chickens are healthy and they're good. I haven't had any experience with anything just yet. I picked up a book, but I was talking to Micro Farmer, and I'm gonna get a different book too, because I had hurt my chicken's foot, and he was giving me some advice. So I'm trying to evaluate that. Am I gonna do more harm than good by trying to help her? So she's adjusting to the injury,
Yeah.
she's real resilient to a certain extent. So I think she's built like that. So I think she's gonna handle it pretty well. I hope so. Because my wife,
Yeah.
she's seen me hurt the chicken on the accident, and she was upset. And she don't even like pets or chickens or animals at all, and she felt all bad, and she been talking to me about it and said, but when I talk, because I talked to you and Micro about something one day, and y'all gave me great advice. And she's like, "Did you ask them?" I said, "Yeah, I asked them." I said, "They told me what to do." I said, "But I got to." Excuse me. I said, "Point blank, period. I just got to read." She was like, "Yeah, I know that." She was like, "But you need information now." I said, "Yeah, that's why I asked them." So whatever y'all told me, I don't even remember what I asked y'all, but y'all gave me great advice. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Real.
And when it comes to Bumblefoot, like a treatment, one of the treatments you should do the first treatment you should always do is you should get a big bucket, a big blue or whatever color buckets you have, a big one that you could like put your entire foot into, no problem. And you need to fill it up with warm water. I want to say, I don't remember what type of salt it is. Keep thinking it's Epsom salt. I don't know exactly what it was, but we soak our chickens and ducks' foot in that thing, and also give them other medications to help like reduce the pain and help the chicken battle with the disease. Since if you actually think about it, bumblefoot is an infection of the foot, and you can actually like humans can actually get it too. It's basically just like any infection on the bottom of your foot is bumblefoot technically. So in theory, I had that earlier this year, and it was a very painful one. However, since we're humans, we can get that easily treated more than chickens. But with chickens, the one thing you need when it comes to that is like treatments like you soak in that. You might have to look it up because that is like because I don't remember what type of salt it was exactly, but I do remember it was a form of salt. Couldn't tell you exactly what type of salt, but I remember it was like a salt that like you could dip your chicken or duck's foot into, and like it would heal. And I don't know if it would sting the chicken at all because I'm not a chicken. I don't understand how they feel. So I could just like put my chicken's foot in there and it could either sting or not. I don't know because obviously I'm not a chicken. But like it sort of like washes out the infection. But you
Mm-hmm.
want to get to that at the right time. We are a little bit too late with sprinkles, like maybe a day or two too late when it came to that. So unfortunately, sprinkles ended up getting a much more severe version of it and didn't end up surviving that. But if we were like a day or two earlier on that one, then that treatment would have worked. But then we had to move on to like much more like intense treatments and a lot more intense separation. And I remember on that last day, she was absolutely looking miserable. Like she could barely even walk. And on that last day, we threw a lot of watermelon into there. A lot of watermelon. And that chicken, because she could barely move, we literally had to put it right at her face before she knew it was watermelon. She was a
Wow.
very, very sick chicken.
So how do you provide the treatment that you think is necessary, like with soaking the foot without them, trying to get away?
So what we always do is we catch the chicken and we put them in the bucket, and then we always make sure it's like a two-person job. You need to one person does that and the other person gets the chicken. One person fills it up and the other person gets the chicken. So the mixture is on one person, the chicken is on the other. The person that gets the chicken puts the foot in there, while the other person like holds the chicken steady, and the other person like sets like a timer for like I believe it's like 5-10 minutes. During those like 10 minutes, I think it was, you like hold the chicken still. It's a very irritating process, but you do have to do it if you want to keep your chicken alive. You have to do it, I
Right.
believe, like once or twice a day. And you soak your chicken there in that salt. You're gonna have to look it up because I can't remember what it was called. And you soak it up in there, and then you put your chicken foot in there, and you like let the chicken stay there. You might want and if you're doing it with younger people, because that's what we did, you might want to have three there because they're a lot less trustworthy. So when I did it once. I did it with one person. It was very challenging. So that's why you'd like to do it with two or three people. So you'd always just put it there. You'd soak the chicken's foot in it, and yeah, Epsom salt. So you'd put the chicken's foot in there. You'd hold it down, hold it steady for like I believe it was like 10 minutes for that, and then you put her back in the flock. I believe you might want to help dry it out a little bit because obviously a wet foot isn't really that best. But then once it's all dried up, you can put the chicken back in with the other chickens. Or if it's a much more severe case, you could bring her back inside in like a brooder, maybe with like a chicken, like a fellow chicken. But they do enjoy being outside. And that's a fact.
I can dig it. All right, the chicken. Well, I got to get back to work, man, and finish up my day. But I enjoyed you. Thank you for allowing me to come up, man, and I catch you in these YouTube streets.
All right.
All right, have a good one, man. Trust the process. GT out.
Bye. All right, so at this point, it's like 1 a.m. It's 12:59 right now. I'm probably just gonna end out the stream on this, guys. I'm not really tired. It's like 12:59 right now here, so I'm just gonna end it. I don't know. It's like a